you would like to ask any question, you are most welcome.
Master, as I understand it, the process of learning to do the Father's will, or the concept of doing the Father's will, as I understand it, is as a satsangi, is quite plain, and I do my best to fulfill the vows of a satsangi, the 4 vows, and with the meditation and the diet and living the moral life. And other than that, to do the Father's will is paramount. I mean, as a spiritual seeker, that's the most important thing. And as far as the whole concept of doing the Father's will, to me, at this point, is just to try to react to the things that happen to me on a daily basis as a good satsangi would react. And other than that, I don't feel like there's. I don't feel like I can know exactly what the Father's will is for me on the small things, But there's that desire, to want to do the Father's will exactly, perfectly, which is just a concept for me now, and I struggle along those lines as the best I can. I guess my question is my concept right in terms of to react as a good satsangi would react to the things that happen to me on a daily basis? Is that the right concept?
What do you mean by react?
Well, as I go through the day, sometimes I'll get maybe one day I'll get a little emotionally upset about something, or I'll get maybe someone will be slow in doing something that needs to be done, that I need to be done. I may get a little temperamental, and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even in the small things, like with a waiter who doesn't, I have to explain to him 5 times to bring the water and things like that. To be so, to me, the Father's will is to be as kind all the time and understanding all the time. And do you follow what I'm saying?
I'm trying to follow.
Well, it's, I want to be able to do the Father's will as perfect every day. And I don't really know what the Father's will is for me, other than to follow the vows, to...
Well, brother, to grow through your fate karma without losing your balance is to live in the will of your Father.
Thank you.
Radha-swami, how can we know when we're doing the right thing? How can we become better disciples when you say we have no free will and yet we have to make that one step and he makes 100 to us?
Then we must take one step. We are more anxiously waiting for his 100 steps rather than our one step. We should not hesitate to take one step. And he never hesitates to take 100 steps to pull us. Even that one step is in his hand, not in our hand. Because he is the one who sows the seed of his love and devotion within us. He is the one who pulls us from within. Then we take that step. We have limited free will, conditioned free will, not absolute free will. Limited free will is there, conditioned free will is there, not absolute free will.
So we have the free will to make that one step.
by His grace, with His grace.
Thank you.
Radha-swami, Master, my question pertains to anger, and it arises sometimes when I'm meditating, and I'm not real proud of that. I don't know what it is I'm angry about, and it seems to just suddenly come up within me, and I can't put my finger on it. I have everything to be thankful for. You've given the gift of Nam. And sometimes it's just even a comment from a fellow satsangi or a family member. And I feel this surge of rage. And I try to say Simran, but the anger seems stronger than the Simran. And I wonder if you could help me out.
Sister Simran, anger only comes at the time of meditation and even otherwise.
At different times, I never know when it's going to hit. It just comes up within me, and I'm trying to figure out.
Not then you are angry on somebody or with somebody or...
No, I can't. I don't know what it is. It's like I'm two different people, and sometimes it's just a comment that will trigger this rage, and it sort of frightens me that I could feel such rage when I've been given so much from you.
Generally you are alone in a room when you feel have that type of feeling, or...
Sometimes it's a meditation, but a lot of times it may be a comment, like a real insignificant comment from someone else. And I feel like I'm boiling inside.
Well, sister, you have to analyze with yourself.
It's for me to what?
You analyze your feeling, you see. Why you are angry, for what?
There's nothing I should be angry about. It's as though I have no control over it. I mean, it's bad enough that I would direct it at a friend or a family member, but it's even worse when I feel it in meditation. I'm not angry at you. You've given me everything.
Before meditation, you can take it out. All your suppressed anger, you can throw it out, then calm yourself and then sit in meditation.
But how do you throw it out when you don't even know what it is you're angry about?
When you become angry without anything, then it means there is something already suppressed within. That is why it is coming out. When you don't know what you are angry about, then why do you become angry at all? If that much sense is there before being angry, then why be angry at all?
I shouldn't be angry. It's a negative emotion.
We are angry when we have no control over it.
Do I have control over it?
That is why you lose control over yourself, and then you become angry. So when you have taken out all that anger from within yourself, then calm yourself and then sit in meditation. That may soothe your nerves.
Thank you, Master.
Master, I have one question about doing one's best at meditation. The literature tells us that we must do our best. Almost every day, after meditation, I tell myself that I could have done better. When do I know whether I've really tried my best, or is this always an elusive thing?
No, you yourself will feel satisfied from within yourself. Nobody is going to come and tell you that you are doing your best. You'll feel that satisfaction from within, that you have done whatever possible you can.
Thank you.
That bliss and satisfaction should come from within.
I feel like I'm fall very short of being a good disciple, and I have a lot of weaknesses. And instead of just feeling bad, or instead of just accepting my weaknesses, can I use that feeling to help me do better and improve myself somehow?
Sister, our problem is that we start analyzing ourselves too much. After initiation, after putting ourselves on the meditation, on the path, we don't go down at all. But definitely we become conscious of our weaknesses. And we become conscious to overcome them. We are not going backward, we are going forward. Unless we become conscious of our weaknesses, how would we overcome those weaknesses? First, we have been taking pleasure about those weaknesses. Now, we have become conscious about those weaknesses, that they are weaknesses and we have to overcome those weaknesses. So meditation makes us realize where we stand on the path. And we shouldn't try to analyze too much of our own emotions, our own weaknesses. We should try to be steadfast on the principle and attend to meditation. If you are sitting in a dark room, you don't see anything moving about in the room at all. If a little rays come through the ventilator, you open a ventilator, and little sun rays come in, then you find so many things moving about, so many particles are moving about. That little ray makes you realize what this room contains, of which you were never conscious before. So this ray of light comes in us after meditation. And we start feeling where we stand. So that makes us realize our weaknesses. And that is a stepping stone to overcome those weaknesses. So instead of feeling guilty about them, or grooming over those sins, or over those weaknesses, we try to get rid of them by attending to meditation.
Thank you, Master.
Master, I have trouble with bhajan. With Simran, when my concentration goes out, I can always bring it back with the Simran, but when I sit in bhajan, I can't seem to do it for more than 5 minutes, because when my concentration goes out, it goes so far out, and for so long, I get distracted, and it's very hard for me to concentrate if I don't hear the sound.
Sister, it's a constant struggle with the mind. It's the habit of the mind to run out and out and out with one excuse or another. And we have to bring it back and back, back and back, back and back to the same point. And ultimately we do succeed in taming it to be at the eye center. It's a constant struggle with the mind.
Maharaj, we told at the time of initiation that the Master takes us up to Sachkhand, and we often refer to Sachkhand as our eternal home. But we're also told that there's 3 spiritual regions above Sachkhand. So how can we have complete union with the Lord when we only are taken to Sachkhand, not to the 8th spiritual region?
Let us first reach Sachkhand, you will know it. There's nothing to worry about. They are just subdivision of Sachkhand.
Are they subdivisions?
Yes.
So
we call it independent regions or subdivision of Sachkhand, it comes to the same thing.
I have a second question. We're told that when the soul reaches the 4th spiritual region, in ecstasy it cries out, Soham, which literally means I am that. It seems that the soul has reached such a high level, but there seems to be a little ego left for it still to have an identity and referring to I. Do you comment on that?
No, it is not an ego. I won't call it an ego, because ego has something to do with the mind, and mind is left far behind. It is only when we find same as that of the Lord, that sometime in Akashti we say that I am the God. Generally mystics don't say, they digest. But sometimes some mystics do say. But it is not ego.
Thank you.
Just when a general conquers somebody, conquers a country, and then he has the flag, his own flag from that country, he shouts that I have won. And some just don't shout, they just put their flags of victory. It comes to the same thing. It's not ego.
Thank you.
Master, I want to thank you for my initiation, and also I come to humbly beg you for your grace. I want to ask you about Simran, outside of meditation, the purpose of doing Simran all the time, as much as we can. And also about mechanical Simran, when we're not conscious of actually the words are going in your head, but you're not really conscious of it, and then all of a sudden you become conscious that that's going on. I think that's mechanical Simran.
Sister, when we are mentally free, it's better to be occupied by doing Simran. It has two advantages. We don't let our consciousness spread too much into this creation, and it becomes easier to withdraw it back. Then we don't become miserable by thinking about the past unnecessarily. What has happened. We can't help it now. So it's always better to occupy our free mind in Simran. It has its advantage.
Hi, Master. I have a lot of questions today that I already asked, and I have one more, and that is that I oftentimes when I'm meditating, it seems to be very still, and then I realize as the time goes on in my mind is more and more going on with it. And is this normal? It feels like it should be more and more still as time goes on, but it gets wilder as time goes on.
Well, it does happen. When we are putting our all efforts and we are not getting any success within, then we become frustrated. Mm-hmm. Then it starts running out. So we should slowly and slowly try to put it in the Simran and the Bhajan. Actually, when we start seeing the light and start hearing the sound, then our mind starts enjoying that bliss and happiness within. Then we go on increasing our time slowly and slowly. Then it enjoys that. Then it doesn't become frustrated.
So in other words, not to become frustrated and just do my best.
Pardon?
So in other words, not to become frustrated and just continue doing my best.
You should continue to do it naturally. We have to do our best, then leave the result to Him.
Thank you.
Hello, Master. I've been meditating for the 7 years. I do Simran, but it seems like I never can do bhajan. Why is that? There are times I would say...
You should ask yourself or me.
There are times that I would say, I'm going to do bhajan and I'm going to do bhajan, but it never happens. Why?
Then make it happen.
Make it happen. Thank you, Master.
Master, in my meditation, I feel that Simran is almost becoming like a sleeping pill for me. I feel like sleep is becoming a habit for me during meditation. Can you please tell me anything that I can do?
You enjoy your sleep better in Simran?
I think sometimes I must, yes.
That's a good thing. Nothing wrong with it. You don't have to take any tablets or any injection to sleep.
I don't think I really need that sleep, though.
You see, we should not sit in meditation at the cost of our sleep. Body needs a certain hour of rest. It depends upon our activities, mental or physical. And we should not give time to meditation at the cost of that, of sleep, of rest. Even then we do get sleep, you see, because As soon as we concentrate at the throat center, we go to sleep. And there's very little difference between throat center and the eye center. So generally in meditation, we are laid to sleep. Well, you can get up again and again sit in meditation.
Master, thank you. Like 1981, and until then, until now, I wait for initiation, but I'm every time too young, I know. And the representative, Mr. Siopoulos, told me to ask you if it is possible to do expect and if you can initiate me. I am 19. I am 19 years old, and he asked me. He told me to ask you if this is possible.
But brother, where is the hurry?
Excuse me?
Where is the hurry? Where is the hurry? There's no hurry. You should give yourself time to become a little more mature and take a more mature decision.
What?
And meanwhile, study Sanskrit very thoroughly.
Yes. Can I do some other meditation with Radha Swami or any preparation?
Your best preparation is to understand the teaching and attend the meetings and
Yes.
abstain from meat and alcohol and all other those things. That is the best preparation you can do.
I attend every time satsangs and...
It's always better.
So another question is if it is possible for a satsangi to become a karate teacher.
There's no harm.
Excuse me?
There's no harm.
That's
It's okay.
Okay.
It's
And
okay.
or yoga teacher, hatha yoga teacher.
Same thing. There's no problem. It's only a science.
The last thing is that at the last time I feel that Karl plays a bad play with me. I feel doubts or I feel very frustrated and confused, and I feel that the emotions and also the love for Master or for Sant Mat is an emotion, a strong emotion, but it's still an emotion, and emotion you can trust emotion because it's every time changed. And what can I do?
So it's better to become mature to understand your emotions.
To understand emotions?
Yes.
Can I do this before initiation?
You become mature and then understand your emotions.
Understand emotions and how...
Yes, you are still young.
Yes. What is the meaning that I'm still young?
Become matured first. You gain experience by age and give yourself few years of age to understand all this.
I will understand all this later. Okay, thank you, Master. Radha Swami.
Same like everybody, but wondering what kind of difficulty you might have had yourself in meditation and how you overcame it would be an inspiration for us to hear. I've heard some stories of your own master and other teachers. Could you
Pardon?
Could you speak of something in your own process of meditation, that problems you might have had and how you overcame them?
I think meditation has been forced on us.
Yes.
Meditation was forced on us. We have no option as the children. We have been brought up in that atmosphere.
From how young they start you?
And we have no other option.
That's the answer. Okay.
Then do we have any option? That brings us back to free will and grace and effort. Do we have any option with our meditation? It seems sometimes we're not able to meditate when we think we should be able to meditate.
Well, sister, if the pull is there, we are automatically drawn by that pull. If the pull is there from within, we automatically are drawn by that meditation, by that pull. It will automatically lead us to meditation.
There's a phase where it seems that one is not making progress in the spiritual work and the meditation, and yet pulled away from the world and not making progress in the world. What is your recommendation there?
What do you mean by not making progress of the world?
It seems like there's no interest, or very little interest in the world, so that
That is the effect of meditation.
Yes.
That is the effect of meditation. You may not feel spiritual progress within, but you definitely feel its effect on your mind, the detachment from the worldly side.
So that's not so bad.
No, it's a good thing. Why call it bad?
Well then, please help with more pull for more meditation.
Well, he is always there to help us.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you for letting me come and see you here for the first time.
Pardon?
I wanted to thank you for letting me come and see you here so early in my lifetime. And earlier in a discourse, it was said that that Kal controlled our karmas before we were initiated, and then Master took over and guided us and protected us afterwards. What does this mean? Because all my life, my mom and my dad have told me that you've been there for us always to guide us and protect us.
Sister, you are most welcome to come here. It is not a question of Kal controlling the karmas or Master controlling the karmas. Karmas take their own course. Whatever karmas we have committed, we have to account for those karmas. As I said yesterday, whatever is due to the Caesar, it will have to be given to the Caesar. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap. Without clearing our karmic accounts, we cannot escape from this realm of mind and Maya. And Kal is in charge of this realm of mind and Maya. So we cannot escape from this creation without clearing our karmas. Prarabdha karma we have to go through. In future we may not sow any seed. But whatever we have done the past lives, we can only burn them by meditation. So when all types of karmas are cleared, we automatically go back to the Father. So if you are attending to meditation, you are clearing the past debris, past karmic load, seeking forgiveness for your past karmas, for your store of karmas. Meditation is 99.9% is for store of karmas, for which Christ said, repent, kingdom of God is within you. We have to repent for those karmas which we have committed in the past. Prarabdha karmas, fate karmas, we have to go through. But if we attend to meditation, we get strong willpower to go through this karma without losing much balance. Our attitude of the mind becomes such that we go through it very easily. We have to go through those karmas. Nobody will change those karmas. But your attitude of the mind will be so developed that you will take them very lightly. As I often say, you cannot change the cycles of weather. Winter has to come. Summer has to come. If we go on adjusting according to the weather, weather passes off very peacefully, without any discomfort to us. If we refuse to adjust to the time, to the weather, we are the one to suffer. Weather will not change course of its nature. So we have to go along with the waves. We cannot swim across the waves. So we have to adjust to the events of life, as they will not adjust to our liking. We have to adjust to them. Happiness lies in adjusting to the events of life, as they are not going to change according to our liking. So we have to go through those fate karmas. Our attitude changes. We go through those events of life cheerfully. But about our past karma, store of karma, there is no other way but to burn them by meditation. So when Master puts us on the path, he attaches us to the Shabad and Naam. Only by that method we can burn those karmas. So you can say Master has taken care of us for helping us to burn our old karmas. You can say that. But we have to burn them by meditation. But Caesar must have its due. We have to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Thank you, Maharaj. Master, you said on the first evening that love lives with meditation.
Pardon?
Love lives with meditation. At what stage does ahimsa, that is non-harming, become a reality? Real non-harming in thought, word or deed?
What is non-harming?
Non-harming.
What is non-harming?
Ahimsa. Not non-violence, not hurting anything.
Yes, I follow non-violence.
At what stage does that become a reality through our meditation? So that it's an ideal that we try to have, but we don't live up to it.
When you become non-violent, when you don't want to hurt anybody at any cost, then you are non-violent.
Yes, but the problem is that maybe we might think to ourselves, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I do hurt people. But is there a stage where it becomes impossible to hurt anybody?
Yes, when you go beyond the realm of mind and Maya, and the mind is not there. You hurt through the mind, with the mind, by the mind. When mind is not there, how would you hurt?
Thank you very much.
Master, I have a question about living the teachings. I felt since I've gotten here that I'm really enjoying my meditation more than ever. And I notice, though, sometimes when I'm done with a meditation, that then I go out into the outside world and I forget it. And it's like a very big change between the outside world and inside. And I'm wondering whether you have any practical suggestions that would help.
Well, brother, what helps you in meditation here, which doesn't help you there? Outside world is also here. Just go beyond this road. Outside world is there.
Right.
But what helps you here, which doesn't help you there? Atmosphere.
Right.
So create that atmosphere of meditation wherever you are. In your home, in your group, in your environments. Create that atmosphere of meditation and enjoy that atmosphere of meditation.
So it's like a building in a way.
Pardon?
It's like a building, like a gathering in a building. And in other words, the meditation that I feel, I can take that and just kind of build with that.
You see, we have to build our own atmosphere. Place doesn't give us any atmosphere, you see. Atmosphere comes from within us. So we have to build that atmosphere within us. So build that, wherever we go, we should build that atmosphere within ourselves.
Being a meteorologist, I can appreciate that. Thank you.
Maharaji, along the same lines, to build the atmosphere when we are going about our work or studies, I take it that we have to learn to do our Simran when we can during the day to build the atmosphere. I was told once to practice Simran in the rhythm of walking, since we do a lot of walking to the bus, walking home or shopping and so on. Is that a good idea?
Well, you can do Simran, but don't try to synchronize with rhythm of walking. It doesn't make any difference, you see, whether it goes with your walking rhythm or not.
Do you have any hints or tricks, in a sense, of how we can trigger Simran during the day so that we may learn to do it more frequently?
Whenever your mind is free, whenever it's not occupied something concrete, something solid, which helps you in your business or in your job or in your any other way, then you can switch it on to Simran.
Thank you.
Master, I've had a few questions over the years. I wanted to ask you about the subject of astrology. Last year, you had made a statement to a sister satsangi to the effect that you thought that that the use of astrology in analyzing the personality and in using it to understand what is going on in the present for someone's life, that you thought that that was not a good use of the astrology by the professionals. Am I understanding you to mean that one should not use astrology to understand the personality?
I said, sister, that it is a science,
Mm-hmm.
but very few people know how to use this science. Mostly it's exploitation.
But if it can be used effectively to understand and it's helpful to people?
In what way? They can't change the course of your life. They can't change the course of events of your life at all.
I know that.
Then what is the sense of knowing? If anything is going to happen with you after 10 years, why live with that right from today?
But in the more immediate present, it's oftentimes very helpful. You know, you have asked me a long time ago, why would one want to know the future? And I've been trying to answer that for 10 or 12 years. And it turns out that in some cases it is helpful. Not in the long range, but in the short range. If you're going through a difficult phase of karma and you know that...
Sister, when it is not in your hand, when it has to happen, what it has to happen, what is the sense of bothering about it? Nothing is in your hand.
Okay, then if one doesn't use it...
If one has to go through some car accident, why know it 10 years before? What would be the sense to live with that accident 10 years with you?
Right.
Why?
But there's also the use of it not in prediction, not in seeing the future, but also in understanding the self.
How can you understand yourself?
Because it defines the personality, the character, the...
That is also not in your hand. It can change. If it is in your destiny that it will change, what will you do?
Well...
If it has to change after 10 years, then what is the sense of knowing it today?
Then it's not useful, then...
In no way it's useful. It's only a curiosity to know our future. What is going to happen with me? We are always worried about future. We don't care for the present at all. Either we are worried about the past, sense of guilt is there, or worried for the future, what will happen with me. Present moment we don't try to live best.
Many of my clients have said it's been very helpful. Does that mean it hasn't been then?
They just make you live in the air, that's all. It has become a commercialized thing, nothing else.
May I ask you on another subject?
Yes.
Maybe it's related. In understanding you mentioned last week how Americans, you said Americans have a lot of individuality.
Just in a light remark. Do you differ with it?
Wait, pardon?
Do you differ with this?
No, I think you're right. But in my own case, which is probably similar with everyone, I suppose, but there seems to be a need in me to understand myself more, to express myself, to become, as we call it in the West, actualized, to become who I am. Is this wrong to try to express who you are?
No, there's nothing wrong about it. I never said that to know your individuality, there is something wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about it.
You said in another session, you said that when one attaches his attention to the sound current, one knows the individuality.
one knows one's reality,
What's reality?
where one stands, how insignificant one is before that big power, how insignificant we are before the Lord, then we know our reality.
Okay. Then what can I do? I know the answer. But in the everyday living, trying to be happier with yourself, trying to express oneself in an uncomplicated, full way. Does that only come through going beyond the mind? I mean, is there anything I can do other than looking in my chart, which I guess I'm not going to do now, to understand myself, to understand what...
You can understand yourself by attending to meditation.
I had a feeling you're good. Thank you, Master.
That's the only way to understand one's own self.
Okay.
Okay.
Maharaji, yesterday the professor said that we should use all our time, all our free time for meditation as much as possible. And also in the books it is written in many places that this human birth is so precious that we shouldn't waste a single minute of it. But in your answers you say that we can also have hobbies and all that. And
we can say what?
Well, in your answers here in Delhi and in Bombay, you say that we can have hobbies and all that, and that we can have to live a normal life also. So I just wonder how much should we push ourselves in giving more time to meditation?
There is no contradiction between all the statements which you have given. As far as possible, it doesn't mean that we have to leave our other worldly activities.
Well, but hobbies are not really necessary. I mean, talking about hobbies, just entertainment.
Well, if it is essential for your mental recreation, what is the problem?
Well, I'm just not sure about it, if it's necessary for me or not.
For some people it may, some others it may not be.
Mm-hmm. So, but how does one find out for oneself?
One will always know how much it absorbs you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Swami Maharaji, I have a question on Bachan 50, Sar Bachan. It says here, even those whose goal is Satpurush Radhaswami will have to contemplate on all those regions which come between, without which they could not be traversed.
It could not be?
Traversed, they could not be crossed.
Then?
I have a tape which dates of 1975 where a disciple asks you whether it's okay to look forward to see the regions within, or we should only concentrate on the form of the Master. And you answered in this way. You said, to be very frank, you are not shown this region at all. You will not be shown this region at all. It's not within your hands. And you said that you're shown the second region when you get to the third region. To my limited understanding, this means that we are shown nothing at all, because this means that we are not shown anything until we get to the very last stage. When we get to the very last stage...
it is not the point. I'll test it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You see, those regions are so beautiful. If we are shown that particular religion, we won't like to go ahead at all.
I understand that.
That is the only answer. So if we go to the third stage, then you are at liberty to see the second stage. Then your second stage will not attract you.
Yeah, but then
all.
we cannot go to the fourth stage after that.
Why not?
Yeah, because if we see the third stage...
Third stage we are not showing you at all.
But then how are we going to compare the third to the second stage?
Yes.
How can we compare the third to the second if we haven't seen the third?
No question of comparison. You see, you can, when you are, you see, you can see back When you will go, you see, when you'll go to fourth, you will see also the third one.
Then,
When you will go,
I would see the fourth then.
yes.
And when I see the fourth, then I'm
You
from the
see,
third.
it depends upon many individuals. Some people are never attached to any religions at all. They're so much absorbed in the master.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Nothing catches them there.
Yeah, but that's what Swamiji says. We have to contemplate on these regions. That's what he says.
That's what I'm telling you. Nothing except the master they are interested at all. So master has to absorb them in themselves for taking them to the Father.
Yes, my question then would be, why are we asked to
That is
read?
why Christ said, you see, you have come unto me and I have come unto you. When we become one, but then we only go to the Father.
Yes, but why are we asked to read these books then? Because this leads to confusion. This book says we have to contemplate on the regions and...
Region means those entity of the region, that means the master, radiant form of the master there.
Radiant form of the master, that's all.
Radiant form of the master. You are not going to see any entity of any region at all, anywhere. Wherever you will go in this region, you will find your own master there.
Okay, and if we go from Bachan 50 to Bachan 100,
you see, actually the Sar Bachan, this is the extract from the satsang delivered in satsang. They are extract of satsang delivered in satsang. The satsangs are always delivered with reference to certain explanation of certain saints' Bani. So we don't know the base which is being explained here.
Now, this one in 100 refers to going back. It says here that if his debt is not so very heavy as can be repaid in this life, then he's accepted for initiation. Otherwise, is not. So my question would be, in this case, do you initiate people for whom there's no chance whatsoever that they can go to Par Brahm in this very life?
Don't worry about what I do. The Lord knows best.
Yeah, but then I don't want to read this book.
Don't read it.
Okay. I mean, we can read only your books, and that would be fine. But then if we read these books and it's no longer valid, it leads to confusion.
No, there's absolutely no confusion. I told you this is the explanation of certain mistakes. They are Bani's explanation. For example, I take the Shabad of Granth Sahib and I explain from the Granth Sahib of first Guru or first Guru. My explanation, if you take the extract from that explanation which I have explained, that is in reference to the Shabad which I have taken today. That Shabad is not mentioned there. It is only the extract has been taken in the Sar Bachan.
It's better not to read
but
this.
My explanation, you see, in the satsang is reference to that Shabad, which is not mentioned in the Sar Bachan at all. So Swamiji has taken the Shabad which he has explained in the satsang to the Sangat. Extracts have been taken and printed as Sar Bachan. So this is explanation of a certain Shabad of a certain saint, of which we do not know to see what Shabad he is referring to, what Shabad he is trying to explain. So we cannot analytically analyze every word of it. Because it has to be explained in reference to that Shabad.
Master, would you please tell me your thoughts on the disciple doing Simran in the presence of the Master?
Disciple doing Simran on?
In the presence of the Master.
What is there for me to tell you?
Someone told me that it wasn't necessary, and I felt like it was a good thing to do. I felt like it was a good thing to do, and someone had told me that it wasn't necessary.
That's entirely for you. If you want to do it, you can do it.